Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I got a late start today because my 11-year-old goes to school, and then he calls me from the school once he's there, and he says, I forgot my blue binder. And I go into the kitchen, and the blue binder, I mean, you can't miss this thing. It looks like a Trapper Keeper from the 80s. It's that big of a blue binder. There's nothing else on the counter, and it's like an island. So how everyone missed this huge Trapper Keeper, that is so 80s, by the way, how they missed this thing and how he forgot this thing, I don't know. But I had to get in the car, drive down there, and take it to them. This is what I deal with all the time. In fact, I've got my older son texting me for different reasons right now. So what I did is I had to put the 11-year-old first, then I put the audience second, and then the 17-year-old is third today. All right. But he kind of deserves it because he's 17-year-old. They don't want anything to do with us anyway. So, all right, I'm kidding. He's a good kid. All right. This morning I got on with Nick Burafado from Link2 because they just added Ripple private equity yesterday, and then I think they ran out. And then he was giving me an update on this. They are one of my sponsors. Watch this. This is a good video. Okay, I got Nick Burafado from Link2 on, and he's going to give us a Link2 update. And there are no blowers in the background. There's nobody blowing the yard right now, so you've got the stage.
Thanks for that. Thanks for the clear audio. I appreciate it. So I mean, Link2, we're having an absolute record-breaking year this year. And when I say record-breaking, I mean by a country mile. You know, it's like when I started back in January of 2022, and I think we had about $50 million invested on the Link2 platform. And right now we're closing in on $320 million, which is just unbelievable. I think we had a handful of companies when I started, which I heard you mention on your program a couple of days ago. And now we have nearly 50 companies on our platform. So the growth of Link2 has been tremendous over the last few years. Also, I mean, look, and that success, all of that success is because of our amazing member support. And that membership has grown and grows every month. It grows like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, and we appreciate all of your effort, DAI, in helping us build it. And our members are so good at sending referrals and referring their friends and family and coworkers. So really,
that's my wife trying to call in the middle. I mean, nothing ever goes right. It's either a blower or my wife trying to call in, and I had to ignore it.
A tremendous year. What I'm seeing right now at Link2, with the end of the year approaching, is we're seeing a lot of our members try and hit their investment goals. A lot of them, had goals for how much Ripple equity they wanted to have, and so we're having people hit those goals. We're currently out of Ripple as you and I are doing this morning, but we will release some today. We released half of the supply that we have yesterday, and all of it sold out. So we should release the other half today. So it's a great time if you want to top up your Ripple supply, or if you're looking to invest in anything else. I mean, one of the things that is great at Link2 is we've seen our members diversify so much this year, which has been fantastic. And the last thing I would say is if you're out there and you've been hearing DAI talk about Link2 for the last, what is it, 3 years? DAI?
I think it's at least 3.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how that's how you and I met Link2. But what I would say is if you're listening to DAI talk about Link2 and you still haven't invested in Link2 and you want to, we've made it so easy. So whether you want to invest in Ripple or any other company on our platform, go visit link2.com. Go see how easy we've made it. And if you have any questions, just hit the support button. We'll be there to help you. And what I'd like to say in closing is I'd like to thank you, DAI, for all you do for Link2. And also thank our members, because the relationships that I've been able to build over the last couple of years are just tremendous, and our membership is just fantastic. So thank you to all our Link 2 members.
Oh yeah, and it hasn't just been for me. It hasn't just been like a promotion thing. It's been it's changed the game for me too. I was able to get access to investments I never had access to for the first time in my life. So
it's unreal. It really is. And it's such a cool group of people. And if you join Link 2, or if you're a member of Link 2, you know it. You get to meet all of these neat people that are like-minded from all over the world, which is just so cool. But thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay, so there it is. Now check this out. CoinDesk federal judge Annalisa Torres gave the Ripple industry a shot in the arm last July when she handed Ripple partial victory in its fight with the SEC. That's why she's among CoinDesk's most influential 2023. I wonder when the last time a judge got a most influential award in any kind of thing. I think Annalisa Torres was kind of made a rock star by this community. Speaking of the community, Meta Lawman, who helped me get back on X, is now back himself. His was a little more complicated because he had been SIM swapped, and so it took him another day or two. But this is the man I have to thank for, he's an attorney. He helped me. He's the one that reached out to me, and he helped me get back on, and he came in right behind me, and he's thanking Brad Kahn's Digital Perspectives. There was a lot of people that helped, but Brad was one of the main ones that helped us get the word out of what we were doing. And so big thank you. And my first thought when he got freed, like a day or two after I did, was Andy Dufresne on the beach waiting for Red from the Shawshank Redemption. Now, yesterday I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to XRP Productions. You need to go give him a follow. I met this guy way back in 2019. He started with just parody and all this stuff with really just, I think, tweets or that. No, I think he had a website. My memory's fading. But anyway, he has totally changed, created a whole persona for himself, and he now does 2 shows a day, or I think 2 shows a week on his handle here on X. He's at XRP_productions. And here he and John Deaton had me on to do a welcome back DAI yesterday. I'll just play just a tiny bit of this. Yeah, let me go.
Who may be very open to the government working with them to censor people, you know what I mean? Or China. Yeah, no, it's a real concern in today's United States. That's for sure.
Which is why I'm still shocked that there hasn't. Well, maybe I shouldn't be shocked, but I would think that eventually people would want to move to some kind of a decentralized platform that you would be able to have your account and you wouldn't be under threat of being pulled because of your speech.
You mean like a library?
Like a
library, the one that SEC went to shut down. It might compete with somebody else, right? Now, I want to make sure I'm very clear. In my experience being taken off of X, in the end, I 100% believe that the higher ups at X were not involved. I think that they were involved in helping me get back on. But I believe that the higher ups like Elon Musk, have completely good intentions. I do not. That's what my experience taught me after the whole thing, is that getting kicked off didn't have to do with the higher ups. They were the ones that helped me get back on. Now, does that mean that somebody lower down the line did something they knew they were doing wrong? Someone that maybe even the higher ups didn't know was a bad guy? That's more where I lean with this thing. If you remember, when Elon Musk first took over X, he had to get people out who had literally been placed there to censor people. People that were attached to 3-letter agencies even. And who knows how many more of those there are left to clean out. You know what I mean? Now, there were some fireworks in the presidential debate yesterday, and John Deaton's commenting here about Ryan Selkis, how Ryan Selkis had Vivek Ramsey, I think that Ramaswamy. I'm not going to try to say his last name anymore. I'm just going to call him Vivek from now on, because he says a lot of things I love hearing. And here's one of them. Listen to this.
Ramaswamy, you've praised cryptocurrency like Bitcoin as an opt-out from our, quote, broken financial architecture, and you oppose efforts to regulate it. The head of the largest international crypto exchange just pleaded guilty to allowing his platform to launder money for terrorists, including Hamas. You say your cryptocurrency plan will, quote, ensure economic freedom for Americans, end quote. Won't it also ensure economic freedom for fraudsters, criminals, and terrorists?
Look, fraudsters, criminals, and terrorists have been defrauding people for a long time. Our regulations need to catch up with the current moment. The fact that SBF was able to do what he did at FTX shows that whatever they have as the current framework isn't working. And I think it is nothing short of embarrassing that Gary Gensler, the current leader of the SEC, in front of Congress, could not even say whether Ethereum counted as a regulated security or not. And so I think that this is just another example of the administrative state gone too far. Here's the dirty little secret in American politics today. The people who we elect to run the government are not the ones who are even actually that are writing regulations that Congress never gave them the authority to write. And the good news is a U.S. president can absolutely fix that. That takes a U.S. president with a spine. So what I've said is, in my administration, by the end of year one, we will have a 75% reduction in the number of federal bureaucrats. We will shut down government agencies that should not exist. We will rescind any regulation that fails the test of West Virginia versus EPA, which is the most important Supreme Court case of our lifetime, that said if Congress didn't delegate that to an administrative agency, then it's unconstitutional. These are seismic changes. These are big changes that the next president can deliver without asking Congress for permission or for forgiveness. And I want people to understand that distinction, because people have been sold myths by politicians for a long time saying, I'm going to work with Congress to do this or that. Much of what you've heard on the stage from the other politicians fit that description. They need Congress. The things that I'm promising you, this is what the leader of the executive branch gets to do under Article 2 of the Constitution.
Thank you, sir.
Cut down the bureaucracy. That's how we grow our economy, and put the Federal Reserve in its place. This is part of the crypto discussion.
No.
90% headcount reduction at the Fed.
You're out.
All right. Okay. So now, yesterday I tweeted this out to Empower and Jason Foster, who runs Empower. Weren't you suing to get the communications between Bill Hinman, SEC, and the people on this list? Is there an update? I heard nothing. So I retweeted. I said, wanted to make sure you saw this, Empower Jason Foster. Got an update on these emails. Let's see if we've got an update yet, because something is beginning to smell fishy to me, because these guys were right here in the XRP community helping to fight the good fight. There's Jason Foster. There's Empower. And, similar to a certain guy at Fox News who then all of a sudden took the other side. So I want to make sure these guys are still fighting the good fight. Maybe they're just busy. I don't know. But I've just got back, and it's one of those things that's kind of caught my attention. And so has this. Remember when Kendra Hill, who is no longer in social media, put this out and said cryptocurrency will be made illegal? She says the illusion is that Bitcoin, for example, is untouchable. The reality is that it is government controlled through the use of mining pools, and cryptocurrency aiming to be decentralized digital currency will not survive. The one that will has already been chosen. Now, I'm not going to play this clip because I don't want to make this video too long, but I want to play this clip.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have built up over many years, know your customers, sanctions, OFAC, they can bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Senator Warren, of course, teeing him up. If you remember, Senator Warren gave Gary Gensler the questions before he went to his hearing. I'm sure she did the same thing for Jamie Dimon, but it's extremely rich to hear Jamie Dimon, who has been fined, I believe John Deaton said he's been fined over $30 billion over the years for all kinds of nefarious behavior on behalf of his bank. Not only that, but I had to ask Senator Warren, I thought you were a women's rights advocate. Why didn't you ask him about how they were, how many people, how many women, anyway, you can read, I'm not going to say it, not on YouTube, I'm not. Anyway, you can read there what I asked her about that guy, because that's the fact, Jack. That's the state of our world now. Now, I'm also not going to play this. I put a little thing together about, so here we sit. Here's what you've got in the world we're in now. You got two congressmen. You've got Kevin McCarthy and you've got Patrick McHenry. Both announced their resignation, okay, from Congress. Neither one of them ever tried to help with ETHgate. Neither one of them has ever subpoenaed Gary Gensler or any of these bad guys that they should have and could have. None of them have done anything. They've talked, and now they're going to resign. And then yesterday, you have a presidential candidate, like one of the top 4 or 5 presidential candidates on TV, and he is calling out the SEC chairman. So what I'm asking in this video that I'm going to play in my member group, which is at daixrp.com, I'm asking the question, and I can't play it here because it's got some movie scenes in it, and I'll get copyrighted for it. So in the member group, I'm asking if Gary is starting to see signs, because the only reason Gary or any other of these bureaucrats have acted lawlessly the way that they have is because they feel like they're protected. And I'm asking the question, are they starting to see signs that they may not be protected? Because maybe it's time for Gary to resign, because isn't that what people who think they're protected and they become bullies because they think that they have protection? Isn't that why people become bullies? And then once a bully realizes, isn't that when they quit and cower out? Well, I wonder if Gary's seeing signs, because I think there's an awakening that's going on. If you look at X right now, once I got back on, I'm immediately seeing, it's like, I think Elon Musk I think there were filters that had been turned on to filter away the truth and true video and all kinds of things. And I think that they have gotten rid of those filters now. And all of a sudden we're starting to see things that we've never seen before. Things that you maybe thought in your gut. Well, those are the things I'm going to show in daixrp.com today, some of them. And I'm going to show one that involves a topic I have never gone anywhere near, and I'm going there today. And I know for a fact that I can't talk about it on YouTube. I'm going there today, daixrp.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that in daixrp.com, we're going where we're going. We don't need roads. Thanks for listening. All right.